this group, and I'm looking at Jordan as you speak, and I think he's taking notes uh, because the concept of defending to get the puck. So defense, you're defending for offense sake. You're, and I think that paradigm shift of thinking, it's new, and it's
My
something
my
that's going to take root.
my attitude towards the purpose of writing the book was to stimulate thought and discussion of just communicating something that maybe, if you've been in hockey for a lot, like Hawali, I mean, everyone on this group, you've been in hockey your whole life. There's nothing you're going to read in that book that you haven't heard some version of. I mean, that's just what it is, right? But it's how it's communicated, which is what you're responding to, Wally. It's a way of talking about it in a little different way that inspires thought to maybe communicate the game to your players, maybe a little differently, that might then resonate with those players to maybe want them to inspire them to do something that you can now attribute to development. I feel like that's my purpose. My purpose is I'm a teacher by trade in the sense of not by education, but certainly by the way in which I approach hockey is through a teacher's lens. It's all about communicating, it's about finding the right words, it's about finding the right phrasing, it's about finding the right approach for the right situation, and it's always evolving, always evolving. So I want to write, when I write a book, I don't want to write a book that is like, this is how you do it. It can't be like that. You do this, then you do that, then you do this. Because the second I send it off to the printer, it's already irrelevant. So I want to write a book where I'm just organizing thoughts in a natural and logical way that inspires thought on each page where you're like, oh, I never heard of it talked to like that. I'm not saying this is brand new. Oh my God, Daryl's the smartest guy. It's not that. Or Daryl's reinventing the wheel or doing all that. That's not what it is. It's all Daryl's doing when you're reading is like, well, that's a different way of communicating that. I've never heard of that before, which is what you're saying, Wally. I've never heard it spoken like that, which is great because that's now a tool that you can put in your toolkit. You already have the tried and true ways in which you've been doing for the years in which you've been coaching. But now here's another one. So maybe you run into a wall with a young group or a different group because every kid's different. And all these kids, the generations keep changing and evolving to how they respond. So maybe there's something in there that's now a new tool to communicate something that maybe you already know and are very fluent in, that's a little bit different, that gives you another tool to reach a new set of group of kids that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. That's really what my purpose is in the whole thing. So it stays a little timeless. So it's not like, not like a book where, like I said, as soon as I send it to the printer, it's irrelevant. The whole thing is changed a year later. This will still, I'm hoping, still inspires thought. That's really what it's about.
Well, Daryl, having read both books, and I think I told you, I only had to read this one once to understand it. The
Well,
first,
I'm getting better then. I'm getting better in my communicating skills.
the, the
That
first,
was the goal, to be
the
better
first,
in communicating.
the first book, I had to read a number of times, but this book here, um, I just for somehow I couldn't stop reading it, as you know, because I was texting you and taking pictures of parts as I read it.
Yes.
But what you've done with all of us, and I hope anybody listening, is it's a shark session. We're swimming, we're learning, and we're learning new things. And I really want to thank you because anytime you come on, we can ask you a simple question, any topic, and you can take it and go with it. And your communication and expression of your thoughts uh, is inspiring. So I want to thank you very much for coming on. And I'm going to ask if there's remaining sharks to stay on so we can talk about some of the concepts and their thoughts being put into practice in their environments. So Thank you so much, Daryl. Say hi to Ella and wish her well. And keep your head above water. I'm sure you're as busy as the rest of us.
Thanks a lot, Daryl.
So much for having me. It's always a pleasure to get on with you guys. Really appreciate